I'm Darren.
I'm Derek.
And this is
the Double D Podcast. I didn't say the this is part.
A little late, but that's okay.
Well, you caught me off guard. You usually, let me know you're about to start it, and I looked over and you were just...
Fair enough.
Oh, we got to get this thing under control, dude. We've been a podcast for how long now?
Not long enough, apparently.
Hold on, I got to move this. Sorry, everybody. There we go. All right.
Get yourself together, man.
Welcome back to another episode of Double D Podcast. I almost said Battle on the Border. Welcome back to the Double D Podcast. We are talking about Battle on the Border today. Last weekend, as of we're recording this...
the greatest wrestling promotion.
Battle on the Border had a weekend, their first of 2 weekends.
It was fun.
It was a great time. A little behind the scenes, got sunburn on my forehead.
I'll say a little late, but yeah, I finally got...
We halted production of the podcast until we were presentable. It was a great time, though. Great crowds, great wrestling, great action. If you weren't there, you missed out. But don't worry, the Double D Podcast is here to let you know what happened. So, when you go to the September 1st and September 2nd shows coming up in just a few days, you will know what's going on.
Exactly.
So
you didn't miss nothing.
Right, well, you did. You missed a lot, but we're going to fill you in so you feel a little bit less left out.
They can make it up by going to the next show.
That's right. River,
two.
On September 1st, it is in Middletown, Ohio, at the Slapjacks headquarters. Going to be a great show. It's the best darn wrestling show.
Let's be honest here. It's the best damn wrestling show. He changed it, but it's best damn wrestling show.
It's also Denham's birthday, so if you are a fan of Battle on the Border, make sure you're there to celebrate.
Big number 42. I mean, 1.
And the next day,
hey, don't tell him that I said that.
He's watching. Or listening. And then September 2nd, we're going to have a great show. It is Armageddon. That's in Cleves. Super excited for that show. Yeah. And we'll get into a little bit later, as of the day we're recording this, which is Sunday, what is it, August 24th?
I don't know.
27th.
My days kind of lapsed together.
27th. I'm way off. August 27th. So we're going to give some match announcements at the end, some things that have been announced as of the day we're recording this. By the time the video and the audio comes out, stuff will probably have been announced since. But as of now, we're going to make some match announcements at the end. Before we do that.
But we're getting to the exciting shit.
Well, before we do that
super exciting shit first.
Before we do that first, the wrestling world did lose 2 individuals over the last week. Unfortunately, it's always sad to say stuff like this, but Terry Funk passed away, hardcore legend, and then Bray Wyatt passed away as well. Very sad news. It was back-to-back days. It's stuff like this that really sucks. Bray Wyatt I was a huge fan of, obviously. I was there when he was Husky Harris in NXT, when he debuted as Bray Wyatt for the Wyatt family. Watched him as The Fiend and the Firehouse, or the Fire. I've watched his whole career, so it was extremely shocking and very upsetting. And then Terry Funk is an absolute legend. So cheers to them. Rest in peace. Professional wrestling. This is it's a tough time for everybody because you grew up watching these people. My dad grew up watching Terry Funk. I grew up watching Bray Wyatt. So it's very, very upsetting, very sad. But rest in peace to those two. And if you're drinking anything, water, pop, we're drinking. This is water. That's Powerade. We're drinking. Cheers to them.
Cheers.
But long live pro wrestling because it brings people together. Unfortunately, these hard moments bring people together. And then on a very serious note, say you loved you to your loved ones. You never know what's going to happen. So look out for those around you. And
we'll probably have a glass this coming weekend.
Huh?
After the wrestling show.
Yes,
we have a glass for
Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. I mean, you're a huge fan of hardcore wrestling. Hardcore wrestling wouldn't be where it's at without Terry Funk. He had so many.
I didn't know that. I didn't know him personally, but
not just that. But I mean, he had so many great, feuds with the likes of Ric Flair, and I mean, it's just he's a legend. And then Bray Wyatt, just so young, 36 years old.
Yeah,
it was a truly devastating week. It was a really hard. I took it hard. Friday Night SmackDown really got me. So, but you know what? Like I said,
that's a little bit scary. 36. I'm freshly 25.
Yeah, so
that's a little scary.
That's why I said live every day. Not to get too serious here on the podcast, but live every day like it's your last. Truly, don't go to sleep angry, and try to let the loved ones around you know that you love them because you never know. Just wanted to get that out of the way, and then we'll jump right into it.
And if you're in hardcore wrestling, bleed for them.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's very sad, but you know what? I just wanted to get that out of there because it's been a while since we've done an episode, and a lot, unfortunately, has transpired, and that was not...
that was not the greatest news.
Not the greatest news at all. Unfortunately, my dad called me and kind of blindsided it with me. I had no clue, and he called me, and he's like, hey, I saw that Bray Wyatt passed away, and I got on Twitter. Because I told him, I'm like, really? No, there's no way. And I got on Twitter, and I was like, oh.
And rest in peace to Bob Barker.
We
got to bring that one up too. It's been a very sad freaking
yeah, he got as
few
close.
days.
I saw a post that said he got as close to $1 as he could without going over.
Yep.
Which is kind of a joke, but also at the same time, it's kind of like, I think he would appreciate that.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? So
100%.
Bob Barker.
I just had to throw that one in there. I know he ain't a wrestler, but
hey, he was on
Rip
WWE.
Bob Barker.
He was in WWE for a while. He did something there. Adrian Adonis passed away earlier this year too, who was a wrestler. So it's been a rough, rough couple months. Damn. But you know what? Like I said, it brings people together. Yep. Professional wrestling. I think to quote Bray Wyatt, he said, "Professional wrestling isn't a love story. It's like it's something for masochists." I apologize. We'll put the quote behind us. Editor, I'll let you know that you have to do that. Anyway, I should have had the quote brought up, but anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the review of what took place
professional
on
wrestling.
August 18th and 19th.
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday show. Super excited. I was very excited. I was a little nervous going back-to-back shows. Never done that.
I was a little nervous in being new territory.
Yeah,
but honestly...
So, yeah, that's impressed. The first thing. Aurora, this Battle on the Border presented by the Aurora's Lions Club, was a great show. Super exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Let's jump right into the action here.
Might as well.
So it started off with Scarecrow, who, if you remember right, in Morris Hill, won a triple threat match to challenge for every title, any title of his choosing. We kind of speculated what it would be.
I thought he was going for the... pretty sure I said the heavyweight championship.
And then I said hardcore. Turns out we were both swerved because he was freshly 195 and decided to go after Jaden Jet. And Jaden Jet has defended his title a lot. We talk a lot of trash about Jaden Jet here.
But he's done a fantastic job
we will say this,
at keeping his title, dude.
Jaden Jet defends his title quite a bit, and by any means necessary, maybe we add that in there.
Well, yeah. By any means necessary.
He does.
Mind you, I take this microphone and slam it on his head.
By any means necessary.
That's what I mean. That's what we mean by any means necessary.
So,
just to emphasize.
Going into this matchup, it's also important to address the fact that Jaden Jet has aligned himself with Russell Actor Full Blend. So Scarecrow, no matter how great Scarecrow wrestler he is, he's a great wrestler. He has to account for two people, and that's always a tough
then
spot.
he's got to account for the interference as well, because you know when Russell's in there. At some point, there's an interference.
Yeah, he's got to account for two people. That's always a problem. And it was a great match back and forth. Great way to kick off a weekend. Because, I mean, at this point, once this match started, it was like, here we go. This is a weekend event.
Game time.
Game time, baby.
He stopped until Sunday.
Not stopped until Sunday when the sun burned on my big-ass forehead.
Park an airplane on that one. Why the fuck are you sweaty? It's cold in here.
The lights are on me, dude.
I say it's cold in here.
I always thought we do these. The light is directly on me.
I thought it was kind of chilly in here. I was like, seeing your forehead look a little sweaty. Like, how the fuck are you sweaty? It's kind of chilly in here.
Back to the action. Scarecrow and Jet. Great match, back and forth action. Great way to kick off the weekend. Unfortunately, as always, as we've mentioned, Russell being out there did come into play while distracting the referee. Jaden Jet was able to grab the zero gravity title and hit Scarecrow in the head with it to retain his title. Now, it's important to mention that Jaden Jet, the next day, whoever won this match was going to have to take on Eric Smalls. So back-to-back title defenses for, or whatever, a first title defense if it was Scarecrow. So it was always going to be a tough battle here. But, like I said, Jaden Jet, I know we throw a lot of trash his way, but he does, by any means necessary, win. And he's at least a defending champion. He may use underhanded means to do so, but he always wins, and he always defends.
I was about to say, and also, not to mention, he did back-to-back shows. So he defended it here, and then wrestled that next day.
Right, and we'll get to that a little bit later on.
So, mind you, he kept, he's...
But you know what? I hope that we see...
Putting in the work. We'll say that. He's putting in the work.
Absolutely.
I'll give him that much credit.
Kickdoor Promotions...
It's not that he's had assistance.
Right.
But, I'll give him... He's putting in the work.
Kickdoor Promotions, which is Russell Actor Full Bland's little group that he's putting his name and his experience behind certain wrestlers, which we'll get to in a little bit as well.
It's kind of terrifying.
If
you ain't been around.
It really is. And, I hope we see more of Scarecrow.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely love him as but you know what? He came up a little short there against Jaden Jet. Sorry, we just got to do a little behind the scenes work right in front of the camera.
Hey, we're still recording. We're good.
Oh, I know it was, but it went off. I was just letting you know.
He put in the work and just came about a hand short from another person.
I don't even know what that meant, but yes.
He cheated.
Yeah, of course. Our second matchup was a very exciting matchup. We had Carson Drake. Everybody loves him. Obviously, no one hates him. Why would anybody hate him, right? Against Paxton Calloway. Now,
Talking to me?
Yeah, I was talking to you. You love Carson Drake.
I fucking hate Carson
Now,
Drake.
off camera, don't let him lie to you. Off camera, he loves Carson Drake. He talks so good about Carson.
He's nothing but a toe. He looks like a little toe.
Carson, if you're listening, you're a toe. Apparently, I didn't say
Carson, you're a toe.
I didn't say it. Wasn't me.
I am.
Darren said it, not Derek. Just remember that.
The guy in the blue. The guy
Carson.
with the small forehead and the good-looking hair. Not the fucking whatever's going on here.
Hey, dude, my hair is on point.
No, I'm just
Carson Drake probably respects. I know it's a mullet.
He made fun of your hair before. That's why I said that.
Yeah, he called me an off-brand Rick Steiner, which a Walmart Rick Steiner. I was a little upset about that. Carson Drake.
It was hilarious. That's why I said that.
This match has big big stipulations here because this is the heavyweight tournament. This is the beginning of the heavyweight tournament. Because if you remember right, Brian Pillman Jr. claps to him.
I'm just kidding. I can't be salty at it.
Has moved on to bigger and greater things when it comes to WWE. Super excited to see.
We'll get him back in the future once Battle on the Border climbs up to their level.
Right.
But right now, yeah, he's off to bigger and better things.
So congratulations to him, but that means that he had to vacate the title. So Denham came up with the amazing idea to have a tournament to decide the future champion. And this was the first opening match of that tournament.
But mind you, that kind of sucks because I was hoping to see him I was hoping that he wouldn't have to leave this soon. I was hoping to see him at least one more time, defend for his title, but he didn't get that opportunity.
I mean,
unfortunately,
one last successful title defense right off in the sunset. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels situation. Except Denham would never do a Montreal screw job type deal. There would be none of that.
But it would have been pretty cool just to watch him one more time before he went to the big leagues.
Absolutely, but you know what?
But he's off to bigger and better things.
I can't blame him. To quote Denham, I can't compete.
No. He's got to chase. He's got to chase what he's been working for his whole career. Yeah. He's got to chase, and he's also got big footsteps to follow.
That's right, of course.
In that career,
and he can,
when you're following Brian Pillman Sr.,
right?
You've got some big footprints to follow. He's more
than capable of doing so, and I'm super excited to see him main event at WrestleMania.
Definitely. That's actually got me actually watching.
Yeah. So so this was the first match: Carson Drake and Paxton Calloway. Carson Drake has a past with Brian Pillman Jr. As we all know, he's one of the top most hated people in Battle on the Border, and the reasoning behind it is because of the things he says to the crowd. For example, he told a child that if you want your comeback, you can scrape it off your mom's teeth. He also told another fan, listen, YouTube, I know you're watching, someone's watching. I'm just repeating words here that were said by someone. He also told someone else that he was going to bend their mom over the ropes. So there's a reason why people... See, you're laughing. You like Carson Drake. This guy's a jerk.
That was hilarious. Dude was walking in a circle.
This guy's a jerk. He's laughing. He's a fan. Don't let him lie to you. He's putting on a persona for everybody here.
No. Carson pissed that guy off so bad he was walking in a fucking circle for at least 3 minutes.
I mean, that guy...
He was fucking... I'm surprised there ain't a fucking mark if you go there and look.
Listen, I mean, when he called me a Walmart Rick Steiner, I was ready to walk in circles.
He's definitely...
He pushes the limits, man.
Yeah, he's definitely pushes the limits. That's for damn sure.
And he's taking on Paxton Calloway, a fan favorite. Dude's giant, 7 feet tall.
Huge. Has
a great future ahead of him in Battle on the Border.
Mind you, can sit on Carson and squish him.
Yeah, exactly. So Carson Drake had to be a little bit, innovative during this matchup, and it was a great match, back and forth. Honestly, between me and Darren over there, we were talking about this match, and we had no clue where it was going to go.
I had no clue.
You got to remember Bobby Fulton's on the outside for Paxton, so he has that little bit of extra juice to get. He has to impress Bobby Fulton.
Oh yeah.
And it was going great for both competitors, and then it started to turn a little bit south for Carson Drake, and as soon as it did, he said, you know what, screw this, I'm done with it, and he low-blowed Paxton Calloway. And so by DQ, Paxton Calloway is the first person to move on in the heavyweight tournament. and Carson Drake pretty much willingly decided that he was no longer in the tournament. Now, it's important to mention, congrats to Paxton Calloway for sure. On to great things. I'm super excited to see how he progresses in the tournament.
I must say, he could have beat Carson without the low blow.
It is kind of surprising to think of Carson Drake as somebody who would do a low blow in this matchup, knowing that it would take him out of the title picture in this tournament. What do you think?
Of course he would fucking do it.
But he wants that gold. I mean, he's Cincy wrestling heavyweight champion. He calls himself the Golden State God, both because he's from the Golden State and because he's gold chasing.
This is what kicks him in the nards.
Well, that's Paxton Calloway who got kicked in the nards.
This is all right. This is what kicks him in the nards.
Right.
He'll do anything to win. And it turned around and was seen, and he got
this is what happens.
Maybe he's going to learn a lesson.
This is what happens.
Maybe he needs to watch a little bit of Gaston to see how to actually, properly wrestle by the book.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, maybe he needs to watch a little Gaston to see how everything goes. And obviously not get fucking caught.
I think I was going to say.
He said on the interview, "It's not cheating if you don't get caught. You got caught."
I was going to say
that's cheating.
This is what happens when cheaters. They get so used to cheating and so comfortable with cheating that they do it without even realizing that the ref's still looking because they just get in the fight or flight mode. Either way,
remember, cheaters never prosper.
Ultimately, unfortunate for Paxton Calloway as it is, because if it was a low blow, and I'm sure that did not feel good.
Oh no, he's a big man.
Congrats to Paxton though for winning. I mean, Paxton had to kind of be thinking afterwards, after the pain wore off, hey, sucks I got kicked in the nards, but I got the win.
Yeah, I would say he's big. He would have won anyways.
It was, hey, it was looking good.
I've seen Carson Drake, I don't know how many times, get his arse whipped. I seen that smirk. He
said, it brings a smile to my face. It brings a smile.
You were about to laugh when I said arse.
Yeah, well, arse was the main, but yeah, go on.
Get his arse whipped by,
Great commentary by Darren here. Well, let's move on to the next.
No, moment of brain fart.
Are we just going to sit here and
Brian Pillman Jr.
There you go.
He got his arse whipped by Brian Pillman Jr. so many times.
Yeah.
He's not ready for that title yet.
Ooh, there you go, Carson, if you're watching.
He's not ready. He was lost so many times.
Again, Darren said it, not me.
He's not ready for the title yet.
Well,
maybe if he gets a few more years under his belt, then maybe he'll be ready.
Okay.
But it's not time for him yet.
Okay, there you go. I'm just going to move on because that's a controversial.
Oh no, he hasn't got the wrestling experience that all the others have. That's in the for example, Carson Drake versus Paxton Calloway.
I don't know what the experience difference is between Paxton Calloway and Carson.
No, but Paxton Calloway is about 3 experiences taller than him.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah,
and about 200 experiences heavier than him, or 3 even.
Right.
Because I think he weight. I don't know. They never say his weight.
They do, but it's.
He's wherever the Giants come from, as Rick Toms likes to say.
Right. Who knows where that's at? Yeah. Meat Hook Jim. Shout out Meat Hook Jim.
Oh yeah, and Meat Hook Jim. Yeah, he was there for the announcing.
Super excited to see
did a fantastic job, dude.
The future of Paxton Calloway in the tournament, and we'll see what's next for Carson Drake. He actually does wrestle in the next show, so stick around to see what happens.
You'll find that out.
Let's do one more match before we take a quick little break here. This is going to be a longer episode. We got 2 shows to go through, so
break?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So we're gonna one more match before we take a quick little break here for this first show, and this one has a lot of implications. So we all know about the Masked Man who's been running amok here in the border. It's been a problem. Attacking Denham. We thought that maybe he was aligned with the Army of Destiny and Sergeant Ledbetter, but unfortunately for the Masked Man, Sergeant Ledbetter finally had enough.
And he's finally
fighting back.
Yeah, fighting back against it.
Beat him once at Moores Hill, and now finally had a match with him again, and it was the same exact outcome. The Masked Man did get beat. Now, it's important to mention...
And he likes to run.
I was going to say, this is...
He likes to run a lot for some reason.
That's important to mention for this, and the reason I kind of just skipped the match. Match was absolutely fun to see if you hate the Masked Man.
Oh,
now, the Masked Man, listen, here's the thing. So... We said this before, that we don't know how many masked people there truly are.
Yeah, we have no clue how many people
there really is.
At the last show,
it was made very apparent that whoever this masked man is may not actually be the masked man that we know, that we've seen the first time.
Yeah.
Is this a fake masked man that's being paid? Is this another one of the people? We have no clue who
Is this an
person is.
alliance?
We
have no clue.
That's the thing. It could still just be one.
Yeah,
it could be 5. It could be 10. It could be 30. We have no clue.
There could be 100 masked men or women, and we wouldn't know a damn difference.
Exactly. And Ledbetter has beaten the Masked Man twice, but it's not the Masked Man.
And no, it's not the original Masked Man. There's no way it's not. That's what makes us think there's possibly multiple, because there's a bit of a difference.
Well, Siri thinks I was talking to her.
Shut up, Siri.
Sorry.
There's a bit of a difference.
Maybe Siri was trying to tell us who it was, and I just clicked off of it.
Well, Siri's open again. Shut her off. There's a slight difference, and it's just a little weird.
Yeah, and on top of that,
there ain't much of a body or height difference, which makes it even harder, though.
And the thing is, like,
which means Jaden Jet is the culprit.
Well, here's the thing.
That's my opinion. I'm no detective, but
we kind of have narrowed it down to we've kind of put we've pinned a lot of the blame on Jaden Jed for this.
I mean, it's pretty much cut and dry. I mean,
I'm coming around. Really, I'm being honest with you. I'm coming around, but also at the same time, it's just like Jaden Jed. I mean, is it possible that, like, because he's aligned himself with Russell, is it possible that Russell's paying other people to get in there and take the beating?
That or Russell is.
Right.
The Masked Man?
It's honestly confusing, but the more important thing, the moral of the story is that the bigger storyline has kind of been going on in the background of this. Mm-hmm. It's been one of the most shocking events in Battle on the Border.
Oh, for sure.
We know the storied rivalry between Ledbetter and Denham. At Morris Hill Show, they hugged.
Yes.
Congratulations on your newfound friendship. But what's more important behind this is that Denham actually distracted the Masked Man in order to get this victory.
Rightfully so.
To get this victory.
Fight fire with fire.
It was a super kick to win. And like you said, fight fire with fire. And of course the Masked Man got away again, which is super unfortunate. And
he's got some fucking get up and go. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
He outran Tapke that one time, and Tapke's pretty fast.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I don't know how much longer he'll be able to get away, but I can tell you this. It is really nice to see a Masked Man get beaten.
But it'd be really exciting to see the Masked Man
real
get
Masked Man
hit in the head with a chair multiple times. The mask tore off, and a staple right in the forehead. That would be cool.
I mean, you got to have some payback.
Oh, yeah. Especially if, like, Ledbetter holds him, and Denham comes up and staple right in his freaking forehead.
Right. Ledbetter was the one who stapled him in the forehead, but it would be a nice, because you remember right back in Armageddon last year, as Denham was escaping the cage in order to get the victory, Masked Man made his first appearance and shut the door on it.
Yep.
And, I mean, since then, it's just been an absolute goose chase. And I'm extremely excited.
And then he got a hold of him once, Denham got a hold of him once, and ripped the mask off.
And there was another mask.
And it was another mask.
So at this point, I mean, it's anybody's guess. If you think you know who it is, make sure you leave a comment down below, or leave a reply on whatever audio platform.
Or you can even get on Battle on the Border and put it as a post on there, like, hey, this is who the masked guy is. I think I'm sure Denham appreciate it, because we need to figure this out.
The community, we need to come together and figure this shit out.
Because this masked dude is pissing me off.
I'm starting to get peeved.
This masked people is really pissing me off.
I'm getting peeved is because it's very obvious to both of us, I think, that whoever the main Masked Man was who closed the door on Denham is not the same Masked Man that we've been seeing.
No.
However, with that being said...
Which confunkles us even more.
It confunkles us. I don't know. Yeah, it confunkles us. And, is that a word? No.
Yes.
What really is surprising to me, though, is... I mean, listen, we'll see. Whoever is under the mask is at least good enough to get away. And that's kind of an important thing.
It's fast.
They are fast. I mean, and that's the thing. So we'll find out hopefully soon. We don't find out this weekend, unfortunately. The Masked Man did not make an appearance after this weekend. So not this weekend, but maybe coming up first and the second. Maybe we'll find out then, or maybe we'll finally get to see the real Masked Man.
And disclaimer: do not go after the Masked Man.
Do not
leave it up to security.
Here's the thing: although you see Ledbetter in the ring doing what he's doing, you got to remember the Masked Man, he, she, who knows, is still talented enough to have hurt Ledbetter at some points in the match. I mean, he got a couple of offensive movements, so this guy's dangerous.
Yes.
Do not approach the
Do
masked man.
not
If you see
approach the masked man.
let the security know.
Yep.
Let security
Security
take care of
take
it. And that's
care
what we
of it.
need. What we need is vigilant eyes to
Yes.
look after, find the masked man, see where he
And
went.
keep an eye out. If you see a guy in a mask running around, point him out. Get a good point going on.
There's only so many masks.
But
that
do
you
not approach the masked man.
Absolutely.
Do not. We
Absolutely.
do not condone that, and he is very dangerous. You need to let security handle it.
For your own safety.
Yes.
For your own safety.
Otherwise, you will get hurt.
I mean,
So don't do it.
absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll finish.
As the police say, he's armed and dangerous.
After this-
Do not mess with the masked man.
After this break, we will finish up the Saturday show and hopefully get at least halfway through the Sunday show. So we will be back. Of course, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this, we're right here. We'll be back in a couple seconds with no break. That's
Solid. And we are back, guys.
Let us get into the back half of the show. Kind of worked out because we did an intermission at what normal intermission was during the show. So it kind of worked out. Mm-hmm. I think. I can't remember, honestly. All right, so
Intermission.
now Costello Creed was turned on by his opponent, Nerd.
He was
or
turned
by
on.
his
What? I'm just kidding.
he was he Nerd turned on him during a tag team match several events ago, and this was the first time that we have seen him since. He was originally supposed to wrestle somebody else, but unfortunately they were not able to show up. That person being Matt Taylor. It was very unfortunate that Matt Taylor could not show up. So unforeseen circumstance.
How'd you know I was going to say that?
Because I'm a genius, dude. Oh, yeah, no, you saw that. You sent me that thing about how best friends know each other, how to finish each other's sentences.
Yeah.
Proof right there.
Applesauce.
It's good.
Fair enough.
But
I don't know
anyway,
where I was going with that, but yeah.
Costello Creed is at this moment in the show without a
the best damn wrestler Battle on the Border has ever had.
He's also without
No,
an
I'm
opponent.
just kidding.
Without an opponent, and so he basically said, like, ref, go ahead and start the match. If I don't have an opponent, count him out, I get the victory.
Yep.
And we had just been so blessed by the opportunity to have none other than King Bomani standing right next to us. He was talking to us about the show, kind of trying to figure out the Masked Man situation. We were talking to him about his events, his teaming with Surge. We were just kind of shooting the shit, shooting the breeze with him.
shooting the shit,
And it just so happened that he was standing there, and I guess he did not like the idea
No.
of that taking place, and so he grabbed the microphone and he said, "Hold on a second. Just dropped my pen."
I was pen dropping.
He didn't say that. What he did say was like, "Hey, listen, I'm a professional wrestler. Let's do it." And he said, "Hit my music, boys," and he went out to the
Played
ring.
it.
So
And convenient, and then luckily we had his music, from prior.
we're just that
so
good at what we do.
We just clicked it that damn
When
fast.
he says, in that split second, we just were like, we just
Okay.
had it. Like we
Click
found
it,
it that
yeah.
good. We're that good.
Hit it and run. He's lucky I didn't play his what is it? It's the Egyptian.
Right.
He's lucky I didn't accidentally play the Egyptian.
From a couple months ago, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either way, the point is now he had a match, and listen, I feel kind of bad for Creed here because here's the thing, he knew he was going to be going against Matt Taylor. Then he finds out Matt Taylor's not going to be there. He kind of lets his guard down.
But he opens the challenge.
He did kind of leave
He
an
should
open
keep
challenge
it.
there.
He should keep the guard up if
By
nobody's
saying,
gonna
like,
step
well,
in.
no one's going to be here. I'll just... so it was Bomani versus Creed at this point, and King Bomani got the victory in a match that I'm sure, if Costello Creed could do it all over again, I'm sure he would have probably not been so braggadocious, so arrogant in saying that, like, well, I'll just get the victory real quick.
If he would have challenged Bomani in a match.
Well, he didn't, like, directly challenge Bomani.
Yeah, I know, but, like, he won't either.
Oh, okay. Well,
Like,
either way,
Bomani, you got it, dude.
Bomani made, it was a good match. I don't want to say that he made light work of him, but he did. Again, I feel for Costello Creed here. He just did not know. We'll get to that later. Oh, what is that? Okay.
That was pretty easy.
So Bomani got the win here, which is always good for Bomani. With this new version that we're seeing of Bomani.
I'm liking the new version of Bomani.
A little bit more by the book, if you will.
Yes.
Which is nice to see. And
Ledbetter, both of them are.
right. So it's a shock.
They've taken the right turn.
This time a year ago, who would have thought,
No,
right?
Graven.
We'll get to him later. I hope to see Costello Creed back. I really want to see him get revenge on Nerd. For walking out on him. But Costello Creed seems to have taken that as like a sign to also maybe get super confident because he was talking a lot of trash to Matt Taylor before the match. Unfortunately, was changed. So I mean, maybe a new attitude from him. We'll see what happens with both Bomani and Surge, and we'll see what happens in that regard. We'll see if Costello Creed shows back up as well, and see what happens to him, how he recovers from this unfortunate event for him.
If he recovers.
In the next match of the night, we had a match that I was really looking forward to.
One you get shell-shocked from.
It's no secret here that we are fans of Avery Hertz on this show. We are fans of Avery Hertz on this show.
I didn't get the drum roll in first.
I didn't know you were we did not talk about a drum roll.
No, that random. My random shit.
We're big fans of Avery Hertz on this show. And
he's the best damn wrestler I've ever seen.
We were talking about. We were very excited to see who he would face in this show, and it just so happens that it was El Tano, the man who was on Battle on the Border's Facebook page, Battle on the Border Pro Wrestling. Go give him a like.
Oh yeah.
Was announced that he was going to be there. Super excited to see his. I've never seen him before, so I was very excited to see him in this match. Both of these guys are, high flyers. They're smaller, high fly guys. It was very, but and I say that because the beginning of this match did not start that way.
No,
it kind of started a little bit slower.
It started off badass.
Right, more methodical, more like technical, and then it divulged from there into what we would normally see.
It's not your everyday Avery Hertz, with the whole up in the air. This was more nitty gritty. I'm gonna show off my skills and still.
And El Tano,
dominate.
Yeah, and El Tano gave him a run for his money.
Oh, yes.
There's no doubt about it. He gave
for
him a run
sure.
For his money. And it was a great back and forth match. And yeah, you got to the high flight spots in the match. There was a lot of really cool moments in this match. Big Avery Hertz fans of this show.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're big El Tano fans because Avery Hertz is a fan of him. So it kind of just works out that way.
But the amount of talent in that match.
Both men, very talented.
Was insane.
It was a great match. And Avery Hertz did get the victory, but it was not as easy as some would have thought for someone new and Battle on the Border. You're making your debut for Battle on the Border. You don't know this. It seems like every time someone makes a debut, I think the nerves are racked up. You're working somewhere new. You don't know necessarily what to expect. But let me tell you something, man. This was a great back and forth, and it got the respect of Avery Hertz after the match, saying, El Tano, welcome to Battle on the Border. You're talented. You have a great future. Shook hands with them, so we're big fans also.
Yep.
Great match, but Avery Hertz did get the win, which does play into the next show that we're going to be talking about, which is River City Wrasslin. We'll talk about that when we get there. But El Tano, man, this is a name to look at.
Yes.
Keep in mind, Jaden Jett's got to be on the lookout for this guy. The whole Battle on the Border roster does as well.
Oh, hands down.
But Jaden Jett does too. So, great match. But the match that I honestly, hands down my favorite match of the night, was the main event between a fan favorite, Super Oprah, big fans in the podcast as well, against a debuting Storm Garcon. Now, if you don't know about Storm Garcon is a part of Kickdoor Promotions, which is also, she works for Cassie Clay as well. So Kickdoor Promotions has Jaden Jett, Cassie Clay. Casey Clay? I apologize. Casey Clay. I apologize. Casey Clay, Storm Garcon, and Jaden Jett.
Yes.
And Russell. So that's the backstory of the show. And basically what Storm was saying is like, listen, you want Cassie Clay. Well, if you ever want to get to Casey Clay, I keep saying Cassie, I'm so sorry. If you want to get to Casey Clay,
you have to go through me.
You have to go through me. Yeah. And Storm making her debut. She was a manager for Casey Clay in a match prior against Melina Osaka, so it was really exciting to see her wrestle.
That was for the women's title.
Right. And a new attitude. That time we didn't get to see the attitude side of her. Storm has an attitude. She's here. She is ready to take the women's division and Battle on the Border by Storm.
Yes.
Along with Casey Clay. And with Kickdoor Promotions, with Russell behind her, I mean...
And by Storm, that... in her name, and literal. I mean, like
Storm is taking
Battle on the Border by Storm.
Battle on the Border is about to get stormed off.
I don't think they're ready for Storm.
And listen,
I really don't.
And this match was my favorite match of the night. The show was great, top to bottom, always is. Never a bad match on the show.
Never a bad match.
But this match was unbelievable. And listen, for those that know Super Oprah had a
know and love. Super Oprah.
Of course. Has a big size advantage in this matchup against Storm.
Big.
And, Storm gave Super Oprah a run for her money. I mean, it was a legit, skinny hoe chants were being thrown around.
That was the thing, wasn't it?
Super Oprah got the crowd doing that. It was back and forth, and it actually got so bad to the point that Super Oprah actually was, it was injured in the match. It had a leg issue, which we saw afterwards. And, ultimately, though, what is the most important thing, you got to remember, Russell and Casey Cook were out on the outside of the ring. Mm-hmm. So now, she has to deal with that. Super Oprah has to deal with that. But Super Oprah was able to get the victory, which means that the next day, Super Oprah, with a potential to have an injured leg, is going to have to take on Casey Clay.
Yep.
So it was a great match, back and forth. Storm was very impressive.
Impressive.
It was a great match, and gave Super Oprah a run for her money. Which like I said before, when people debut, sometimes nerves get worked into it, and you just don't. So,
well,
put on a great show though, and it was my match of the night by far.
We've heard about Storm in the past.
Absolutely, yeah.
We've seen her on Facebook quite a bit,
All over.
and it seems like she was just like blowing up.
Rising star.
So like, as soon as she was announced in the Battle on the Border card, that was instantly awesome.
Yeah, very excited to see.
And as much big as fans we are to Super Oprah, Storm gets the same respect.
Same respect.
Yeah, she's honestly them two. It's probably not going to be the end of it.
Well, and you got to remember, Casey Clay's involved in it. Casey
Yep.
Clay has a lot of respect in this podcast too.
Yeah, Casey Clay's one that has a lot of respect also.
And that's the thing. It's like these three, like you said, I don't think they're done, including after Sunday. I still don't know if they're done yet. And I got to tell you, it does go into Sunday. But that was my match of the night. Is there anything at all that you wanted to say about Saturday before we move into River City Wrasslin on Sunday?
I'll just say this one thing, is I think that Storm's going to give Malia Saka a run for her money.
Well, yeah.
For the women's championship.
And the thing is, when it comes to women's wrestling and Battle on the Border, Malia Saka's been champion for a while.
Oh, yeah.
You have Casey Clay, you have Shauna Reed, who we'll get to in a minute. We've had, you have Storm now. You have Casey Clay. Did I already say her?
Yeah, you said
Sorry,
her
I
already.
forgot. We have, Ari Alexander was mentioned several months ago. So we have it's I don't want to say it, but there's a lot of talent.
I'm gonna say we have a very strong women's division.
Yeah, it's very talented. So we'll see.
It's really hard to determine who's going to get the title next. But in my personal opinion, I think Storm is going to storm her way into a championship.
Well, and here's the thing.
That's just completely honest.
A lot of it's going to depend on what happens on Sunday because of Super Oprah. If Super Oprah gets 2 back-to-back victories, you have to imagine Super Oprah is going to be in the conversation. But if Casey Clay can get the victory over Super Oprah, I'd imagine that would propel her into that top spot as well. So that's a lot of that.
Yes.
Some of that is going to depend on what happens in the Sunday show coming up.
Yeah.
So we'll jump into that one if you are ready to do so. River City Wrasslin. So Sunday,
I should have changed my shirt. What the hell?
Yeah, right. First off, I wanted to say everyone who came out to Aurora, thank you for coming out. It was an absolutely amazing show, a great turnout. The Lions Club, thank you for hosting Battle on the Border.
Yes.
Hope to continue to do so on behalf of people who don't have those decision-making powers, but someone who is a fan, someone who does do sound, we definitely want to come back.
Yes,
It was an
for sure.
absolute honor. And, it was a great time. Like I said, crowd was great. And Sunday, River City Wrasslin. To the fans who came out to River City Wrasslin on Sunday, for those that don't know, Sunday, I think it was approximately, roughly, I don't know for sure.
100 freaking degrees.
It was about 1.5 billion degrees outside. So to the fans, to the wrestlers, to everybody involved in what happened on River City Wrasslin and Aurora, but River City Wrasslin because of the heat, absolute thanks to the wrestlers, to the people who we weren't even, because it was at River City West, so there was...
Denim, is my farmer's tan better?
No, it's still just as bad.
Is it? Oh, damn.
I don't know. No, but thank you to absolutely everybody who was there because it was hot. And, that's all I had to say. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Aurora, to the fans who came out, thank you for that, of course. Lions Club, thank you for hosting us. But to the fans who came out Sunday, extra thank you because you sat out in the heat. The wrestlers wrestled in that ring with the heat. So let's jump
burning
into
their
it.
skin.
Let's jump to it, man. It was to the referees. Can't forget the referees.
Yep.
To the ring announcers.
Yep.
To these sound guys who I think do a podcast or something.
Yeah, the sound guys that got burnt. To
Well,
everybody involved into that show.
Absolutely. Down. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, fans, everybody. We all
It was a
deserve a
great
round of
fucking
applause.
show, and it turned out to be awesome.
River City-
awesome as any Battle on the Border show ever is, you know?
Yeah, River City Wrasslin. Super excited. This was a makeup from back in May, I believe. I want to say it was May.
I've been drunk since then.
You've slept since then, is what you meant. YouTube algorithm. You've slept since then.
I've slept since then. Yeah, that.
Super excited for this show. It wasn't makeup. Like I said, it was about 100,000 degrees outside. I think that... no, I won't go there. What we will say, though, is the first match to kick off the show, Carson Drake...
What'd you think?
We'll talk about it later.
Oh. I was a little confused.
We'll talk about that later. The first match, though, it was a joke that I didn't need to make.
Oh.
Carson Drake and Gaston LaRue kicked off the show at River City Wrasslin, which was great. Now, we do want to, although we do personally hate Carson Drake, well, we disagree. I don't want to give him any ammunition.
I was going to say, you claimed you were for him, and I was against
No, I
him.
never said I was for him. I
So,
said that
I do not like Carson Drake.
Right, we disagree with the ways he does things. The way he do things.
We disagree with the way he do things.
We do also, though,
you know English.
have a responsibility as the sound guys of Battle on the Border.
Yes.
To play music at the right times.
And we damn well know how to trick it too.
And Carson Drake, we did not play the music correctly. It was hot out, and me and Darren were...
I shut that shit down. Why? Because I have control.
No, that's
what
not...
you gonna do, Carson?
No, that's not true.
You mad, Carson?
To be 100%...
Too damn bad, son.
To be...
I stopped your music from playing, and that's because I can.
That's all not true.
Sorry about you.
What actually happened was that me and you were just the heat. We were at each other's throats at this moment. We were arguing with each other.
It was a whole weekend of sound and.
It was just. But you know what?
Bad news bears, dude.
And I think we also have to apologize to Gaston.
Yes.
For this, because I mean, listen, you know, we were a little late with the music. No, but
listen, I don't think we missed his.
We may, I mean, yeah, we did. We weren't exactly on cue for the Carson Drake music, but we were arguing with each other. It was the heat. We were getting at each other's throats. You know, when you've been friends for.
It was almost a damn wrestling match behind the damn music center. Is what about happened.
I was doing this a lot, and he was getting the attitude with me. It was bad.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that this match took place, and the reason I say that we need to apologize to Gaston is because I think we may have pissed off Carson Drake to the point to where he was able to get in that ring, and it was a quicker match than expected.
Yeah.
Not that I think the thing, like I think we kind of pissed him off. Drake came out. You got to remember, he's probably feeling good from the show Saturday too. Like I said, yeah, he did get disqualified from the tournament, but he did get a low blow. So I feel like you came in feeling pretty good. Gaston's a busy man. Gaston LaRue, check him out, by the way, on YouTube, Spotify, I think. Buy the book with Gaston LaRue. It's a great podcast. I listen to it. He doesn't listen to podcasts. Which is funny because you do a podcast.
Yeah, I listen to ours from time to time, but
I don't listen to ours. Ours sucks.
I only do when it's like your solo podcast.
Yeah,
That's the only time I listen to that.
Yeah, for everyone who's watching, I do a solo podcast every once in a while. Kind of busy right now, so it's been hard to do them. But eventually we'll get back into the swing of things.
And starting next month, Dad Talk is entering the Double D podcast.
Yeah, Darren's going to do his own solo one about dadding.
Yep, Dad Talk.
Anyway, wanted to say one thing. Drake did make a comment about how we do a podcast, but we couldn't do sound right. And I did hear somebody say podcasting is easy. Listen here. I know it doesn't look like we do a good job.
Have a seat.
I know it doesn't look like...
Take a seat.
It's hard.
Take a sip of the Powerade.
I know it doesn't look like it's hard to do.
Advertise my DJing.
I know it doesn't look like it's
Sit your ass down here and record it your damn self if you think it's that fucking easy.
Hey, listen, I love the fact that you're a Battle on the Border Brigade fan and keep coming to shows. But let me tell you something, bro. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, listen, I mean...
And, mind you, keep track.
Is this the hardest job
of the shows?
Is this the hardest job in the world? Absolutely not. There are 10 bajillion times harder jobs.
It takes a lot
but what I will
to do
say
a podcast.
To those that don't know, podcasting is there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. We've gotten things wrong. We've been called out by Carson Drake, by Sergeant Ledbetter, by Denham himself. We have been. It is not as easy as it seems. And listen,
And not to mention finding the time to do it and getting the time to get it where it needs to go, to get it advertised or to get it edited and shoot out. Because I ain't editing no more. He don't edit it. We have an editor that we have to get this podcast to.
I'm just saying. I just wanted to make it clear. We heard you and we understand. If you don't like it,
thank you for the disrespect.
Listen, I'm okay with being disrespected. I'm okay with that. But at least listen. If you were watching and you said that, then that's fine.
You
but
can
what
have
I
a
do
seat
fear, what I
right
do
here
fear,
for our podcast one day, and you can find out how hard it really is.
What I do fear is that the person who doesn't watch it and didn't know. I just wanted to make it clear. So if you guys know who said that, send them a link and let them know. Hey, listen, just listen to him once. I'm not saying this is the hardest job ever, but I am saying it a little bit more goes into it.
This right here, the Battle on the Border thing that you're seeing, that's not just a wall. We ain't got a sticker.
Yeah.
That takes our editor has to edit that stuff in.
I'm just saying. But I just wanted to get that out there. We did hear you.
If I wear green, it'll be on me too.
We love the criticism. Thank you for the criticism. Now back on to what you're here for.
Yeah. Sorry for our little rant.
Carson Drake, Gaston Leroux, a little bit quicker than we thought. Gaston is a very talented wrestler. There's no doubt about it. And, Carson Drake is too, despite the fact that we hate him on the show. I mean, we disagree with his ways. But unfortunately, Carson Drake did get the victory after a pile driver, which is, something that you don't see much anymore. So, congratulations, I guess, to Carson Drake. But here's the thing: Carson Drake, is in a weird spot. He lost his title spot in the title tournament. And where is he going to go from here? He got the victory. Gaston Leroux's been here a couple of times.
I think there's a dumpster behind the building that you can jump in if you need to.
So, it is interesting to see the future of both of these men. Hope to see both back on the border. So, now moving on to the second show before we probably take a quick little break.
Gaston. Oh, my bad.
Before we take a quick little break here. Hold on. I can't read. Okay, I can't read that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
Insert Taking Forever music.
So we had a debuting wrestler here in Battle on the Border.
Oh, you're done.
We had a debuting wrestler here in Battle on the Border. Has the same agent as Craven. He was known as the Beast.
The Beast.
And he was taking on Eric Surge. Big fans of Eric Surge in this podcast.
Very big fans of Eric Surge.
And we know the future with Surge. We know that there was a tag team title challenge laid out to Congo Kong and to Madman Fulton, which we have not seen yet. Assuming we will very soon. And so it was really exciting to see. First off, you have Adam Rorgis, Kyle Craven, and Beast, who are now all three a part of a group. It was exciting to see Beast. I got to tell you, this was a very good matchup. Anytime Eric Surge and the Beast is in the ring, it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
This was a great matchup. Surge did get the victory. Congratulations to Surge. Love to see it. And listen, because we know what happens later on in the show, got to say, I'm happy that Beast got the loss here. Yes. Just because we know what happens, so stick around.
You'll find out if you continue to watch.
And it's interesting with Surge. This was a heavyweight tourney match, so it's really cool to see Surge moving on in this tournament because he could potentially be the world heavyweight champion, which is extremely exciting to us. We know that Paxton Calloway moved on. Yeah. I want to make sure
Paxton's moved on and now Surge has moved on.
Yes.
So how many spots is open for that?
That would have been the two. That's the first two. So the first two to move on out of the 8, I believe that 8 Denham said it was going to be.
I knew it was multiple. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, so very excited to see him move on. I hope the best for Surge and Paxton both. I mean, you want to talk about what this heavyweight tournament's shaping out to be.
It's making it pretty damn hard to guess who's possibly going to win.
Right, it is. And of course, Beast, had he won, there would have been a little bit of extra, because again, like we'll talk about later on, there would have been an extra threat that now we don't have to necessarily worry about.
Yep.
Because of this.
I wonder.
And Adam Rorgis, by the way, was ringside with Beast.
Yes.
Adam Rorgis will be in our main event, which we'll talk about later. He was ringside. So Surge had to basically take on 2 people at once. Because again, as we've mentioned, if there's a manager, in this case, a wrestler, on the outside, that does add in an extra layer. So Surge beat 2 people at once, technically.
I wonder if Denham's going to allow it to where, zero gravity was. Where it got to a certain point, and then he allowed people to try and get back in it. I wonder if that's going to be a thing for heavyweight or not. I don't know, but
I think from what I
or
heard,
the World Championship, but I don't.
Denham does some lives on Battle on the Border Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
And I believe what he said was that 6 spots for sure, the 2 extra spots we were waiting to see.
I was say because
I think
he had that with the zero gravity where he ended up letting them re-wrestle to earn a spot. Like if you lost, to earn a spot into the zero gravity tournament.
That could be. Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if maybe he'll give that opportunity where we could possibly see one of the participants that lost try to go back and get back in it.
Right.
And potentially win, World Heavyweight Championship.
We'll see. Let's take a quick.
Nobody knows.
We'll take another quick break, real quick. When we come back, we'll finish up this Sunday show.
Just remember, we're doing 2 shows. You got to bear with us here.
We will preview the when we end this show on this next little go around here. We will preview the first and the second. So stick with us.
Wrap around. Jim Leahy quote.
We're getting
Jim
loopy.
Leahy.
Let's move on. Take a quick little break.
And we're back. Just kidding. And we're back.
Welcome back.
Your favorite freaking podcast.
Okay. It's not even my favorite podcast.
Fuck you then. It's my favorite podcast. It's the only one that I somewhat listen to.
We're getting through these shows because, as you said, we do have 2 shows to go through. Mm-hmm. And don't worry, when the first and second hits, we'll be doing this again.
Yeah.
So let's...
And we'll do it all at one again. So it'll be a long match again. Or a long podcast
Long
again.
episodes is how we started this.
Which,
we used to do long episodes.
You gotta love watching the Double D podcast.
Yeah, really, we're blessing you with an hour of content. Over an hour of content. It's like an hour and a half of content.
Then you got the best wrestling promotion
on the board
ever, Battle on the Border. So I mean, you're getting a twofer here.
That's right.
A 2 for 2, man.
2 for
you're good.
Now,
or women, men or women, you're good.
Yeah. Now, moving on to the next match here, we talked about it on the Saturday show with Storm and Super Oprah facing each other. If Super Oprah was able to beat Storm, and that means that she was going to have to take on Casey Clay.
Yep. And
that's the match we're going to be talking about. So going into this match, a lot of, this was a highly anticipated match because of how great the match was the day before with Storm and Super Oprah.
That, not to mention,
with Super Oprah's
the injury.
Right. I mean, she was struggling to stand.
Mm-hmm.
Her knee was bothering her. We were questioning whether or not, because, I mean, after the show, we had no clue. I mean, we were both talking. Idea. I mean, what is going to be, is she going to be able to perform? I mean, let alone even walk. She wasn't able to walk when we left.
Yeah.
So we had no clue. I mean,
she ended up sitting on the side of the ring at the end.
Yeah. So I mean, we were left wondering, and you know what? She was able to walk.
Yes. Which
I'm sure Cassie Clay did not want to see.
No.
Casey Clay, sorry.
Casey Clay did not want that, I guarantee it.
Yeah, she was probably hoping.
It happened.
So,
and not only walking, but walking damn good for just having an injury.
This was another match where Storm and Russell were ringside for Casey Clay. This was a great match. Of course it is. These are 2 talented individuals. There was a lot of hatred between these 2. So it was a great matchup. And despite the fact that Storm and Russell were on the outside, Super Oprah was once again able to get the victory, meaning that she has 2 victories now over Kickdoor Promotions, which cannot sit well with Russell. Gonna have a strong talk.
It's got to be rubbing him some type of way.
Yeah.
The fact that it's... The way I describe it is a Barnabas Spectre, but he don't show the emotions as Barnabas Spectre when he loses. But he's getting that feeling that Barnabas Spectre got for a long time.
And to be fair here, I mean,
when he was losing.
Let's be fair here. Casey Clay put on a great performance. I mean, she almost had the victory several times. So did Storm. So, I mean, there is positives to look forward to here. It's just unfortunate for him, I'm sure. And for Casey Clay and for...
I'm peeling.
Yeah, look at that.
That's I was wondering why it itched. I'm peeling.
See,
sorry guys.
Talking about our sunburns and it starts peeling.
Hey, we got a canopy next time. Huddle on over with us. So we'll see our true fans if they're huddled over with us.
Yeah, right. But it was a great match back and forth between these 2. Super Oprah gets 2 victories. Have to imagine. Excuse me, I apologize. Have to imagine that that's going to propel Super Oprah into something.
Fuck your gas moves. Keep it in. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I can't help it. I was trying to hold it back, man. That's the thing that sucks.
Hey, at least she ain't farting.
Well, I mean, if I were...
stink us out the podcast studio.
Right, yeah. If I were, no one would really know other than you.
Yeah, I would announce it.
Moving on, we have Congo Kong Always intimidating.
Congo Kong.
Against
the Beast.
Yeah, that's right. Against
He is the Beast.
one half of the tag team champions in Battle on the Border.
Yeah.
Going up against CFR. Now this match was a little bit different because normally speaking, when Congo Kong wrestles, we see David Barnabas Spector. Yeah, big size difference between these two as well. Also,
Here, perfect. Congo Kong. Big bag of chips. CFR.
little bag of chips.
Little bag of chips. Well, to compare it like that, sorry, I don't sponsor that whatever. Who the hell that is, I don't care.
More importantly, no David Barnabas Spector. It was interesting to see how Congo Kong would do without the outside interference because generally speaking, David Barnabas Spector gets involved in some way. So it was going to be interesting
and he
to see.
didn't participate in this match.
Right, so it's
Which
going to
is
be
weird.
interesting to see. And this was a heavyweight tournament bout as well, so that means whoever won got to move on. And with the size difference, CFR gave it a go.
Oh, yeah.
Gave it a real go, gave it a shot, tried his best. Unfortunately, was not able to take down the big man, which means that now Congo Kong has moved on. So Paxton Calloway has moved in to this second round, the semifinals, I would guess.
Yep.
As has Surge.
Congo Kong
And now
Surge.
Congo Kong.
Yep.
So, and Congo Kong and Surge, of course, have problems. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, after this match, there was a little bit of a problem. Okay, so Congo Kong, I mean,
A big problem.
he kind of
Big problem.
big problem. yeah, big problem.
Big problem.
Congo Kong was taking a bit of liberty with the fact that he was beating up CFR. So see, Bomani and Surge were off to the side of us with Meat Hook Jim, shout out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jim.
Rooting for CFR, trying to cheer him on in victory, because of course they want to see Congo Kong lose.
for
Surge
sure.
and again, Surge and Bomani are looking for the tag titles
Oh, yeah.
against Madman Fulton and Congo Kong. So they were rooting for CFR. They, Congo Kong started to take kind of liberty on CFR. Bomani and Surge wanted to make the save, but unfortunately, Congo Kong got a hold of a chair, which then was used.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, we were sitting a decent amount away, but those chair shots sounded like they took place right next
I
to
was
us.
going to say, and you heard that son of a gun.
Congo Kong swinging a chair sounds just as scary to see in real life as it looked. I mean, it was absolutely, as you imagine, it was just as terrifying as you would imagine. And,
It sounded like we were sitting right next to him.
Right. So Bomani and Surge, tried, but unfortunately they were hit with chairs, which, Bomani had a good weekend, Surge had a good weekend. Bomani got a win on Saturday, Surge got a win earlier in the night. They were feeling good. Unfortunately, they were not feeling good after that. Chair shots to the back into the midsection.
They probably felt that really, really good after that happened. Just imagine Congo taking a chair and hitting you with it.
I don't want to.
that would kill. I would be dead.
So the rivalry,
I'm 250 pounds. I'd be dead.
the rivalry between these two still goes on, still strong. Always probably will be between these two until they finally settle it. Hopefully that happens soon.
And not to mention, them men are some strong MFers.
Yeah, these three dudes and Madman Fulton. Those that see Madman Fulton,
They're
in person,
some strong MFers.
you know how big Madman.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, but you and Madman Fulton. I was making sure
We're
your
good,
microphone.
we're good.
No, I was making sure your microphone was.
Oh,
on.
yeah, it's good.
We're still good.
See my ding-a-ling. Oh. No, we're good.
But no, these are
Ding-a-ling's represented here.
three big men, and then Madman Fulton's the four. I mean, these are four big dudes.
Not only big, but strong.
And
Like, they could take our fucking table and just karate chop it to a piece.
yeah, so
And it's a good plastic table. Good plastic table. They could mash this motherfucker.
I'm excited to see.
Excuse my French.
I'm excited to. That's okay. I'm excited to see what takes place between these two, or between these four rather, these two teams, and it will not stop until they get that title match.
Oh, yeah.
And who knows what the future is? Gonna be interesting. Super excited for it.
It's hard telling because,
We'll find out.
once you get into the tag team and who the champions are, it brings in a whole new thing of David Barnabas Spector going to interfere in it, guaranteed almost every time, because he's a bald asshole. So it really, like, you're like, well, what the hell is next? Like, how is somebody going to go 3v2 technically?
Right.
It
Something they have to account for.
Yeah, they definitely have to account for the person outside the ring, David the Barnabas Spector, and the interference for whoever gets the tag team championship next, or whoever retains it next.
And speaking of tag team division, we're going to move into the next match. My favorite match of the night again. Whole match card great. This was the match that I was looking forward to the most because between these two teams, that being Bad Dudes and DD Trash, these two teams have no love lost for each other. They've battled in battle on the border before as well as outside. They battled a bunch. These are two teams that know each other very well, and they have no love lost, bad blood between them, and they showcased that perfectly this weekend because, or like this past weekend, because they got the match started before they started hitting
The match
each other.
didn't even start.
Before the match even started, before the bell even rang, the Bad Dudes approached DD Trash. They were wrestling all over the ballpark. For those that weren't there, the ring was set up in right center field, basically short right. So it was they had the whole ballpark to work with, and they used every inch of it.
And the bell never got rang at the first part.
Yeah, I mean, and they did a lot of damage to each other. I believe Jeremiah or Pompano Joe, one of the two, were thrown into a trash can. One of the DD Trash members, apologies for not, I was so interested in it I didn't write down. One of the DD Trash members jumped off of Denham's Jeep onto Pompano Joe and Jeremiah.
It was the whole damn thing.
I mean, it was back and forth between the two. Jeremiah was, and Pompano Joe were throwing him into ring posts. They were, I mean, all over the place before the match even got started.
Yeah.
And then when the match got started, they were taking it to each other again.
And not to mention, this was a good, like, I don't know, mentally in my head, it was going like a 10 minutes.
It felt like it.
They were in outside the ring before the match started for like 10 minutes. So you got to think of the exhaustion these guys are going through.
I mean, it was hot out. In the ring.
Yeah.
And the exhaustion definitely set in because at one point Jeremiah was accidentally hurting his own partner. He had his back turned, and one of the DD Trash members threw Pompano Joe's shoulder over. He thought it was a DD Trash arm and started doing this, and he had no clue. So that's the exhaustion that they put through.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Bad Dudes.
You got that heat, and then how long that pre-match was. I mean,
exhaustion set in on Jeremiah there. And, I mean, listen, you know.
And that's no fault. I mean, it was hot. And not to mention, you were already wrestling before the match even started.
That and you didn't.
So, I mean, like.
That and you just have.
I'm surprised they didn't pass out from heat exhaustion.
I mean, they were going at it.
Exhaustion. My bad.
and yeah, I was going to say, Bad Dudes, we know how well they work together. So, I mean, for something like that to take place, I mean, you can tell that there was some type of exhaustion setting in.
You did it that time.
Exhaustion setting in. So, but you know what? I'll tell you this. Unfortunately, as we always seem to say when it comes to Bad Dudes matches, listen, their name fits them well. Jeremiah hates children, hates kids.
Really hates
kids. And unfortunately, the Bad Dudes, their name, like I said, it represents them well. There was some underhanded tactics. Yes. Possibly Jeremiah holding down someone's legs in order to get a pin. Possibly. I mean, we were a little bit further away. So
not to be accusationist.
I mean, listen.
We're not putting accusations out here.
There's been footage on the BOTB Brigade. Check it out yourself.
Yeah, just see for yourself.
Check it out yourself. And here's the most important part, though. Bad Dudes did get the victory, which is important because, as we've said before, the tag team division in Battle on the Borders, there's a lot of action. There's a lot of tag teams, and it seems like the Bad Dudes getting the victory here. We've said it before. I mean, they have to be nearing that area. DD Trash was. These two, I mean, this could easily be. It wasn't, but it could have easily been a number one contenders match for who gets the next title shot. I was about to say
this makes it really makes the tag team field.
I hope
really, really hard
that DD Trash, just because we're by the book guys.
Yes.
I hope that DD Trash gets another chance to rectify that loss. But you know what? Credit where credit's due. Win by any means necessary. Bad Dudes. You know, DD Trash knows that that's what they're facing. They're up against.
Yeah.
And they weren't able to get the victory. So, Bad Dudes do get the win to the chagrin of fans. I mean, fans were yelling at the referee. They were chanting "You suck" to referee Nick Varney. Listen, Nick Varney, man.
Fantastic ref.
But you know what? Got to keep those eyes open. I mean, I know it's hard.
It's hard when you got 4 people in an area.
Bad Dudes,
the Bad Dudes are really, really good at distracting people.
I get it.
Nick Varney is a damn good ref.
Well, the fans,
honestly,
were vocal.
They were very vocal, yes. But I mean, at the end of the day, he did a good job, and he did a damn good job.
He did his best.
It's just the Bad Dudes are good at what they do.
They're
good at being bad dudes. And they really, really, really hate kids.
Yeah, Jeremiah really, really hates kids.
Yes.
He's made it very well known. He tells really, really hates kids.
And Pompano Joe, I will say there's one thing I really like. Dude's got some freaking moves.
Oh man,
That's what I really like him.
all four. Well,
He dances it out, man.
All four. Oh, you're
No,
talking
I'm
about his
dancing.
dance
Yeah,
moves.
it's dancing.
He does got some.
He's got the freaking moves, dude.
Yeah, he does.
He has got the moves.
Hey man,
And
dance battle next time.
that's that.
Yeah,
I will give him that. He's
Right,
got great dance moves.
we can't give any credit to.
But they're not Mr. by the books.
There's no by the book here.
No.
Next match was Nerd, which is like Nelson Doolittle the Fifth. There's some things.
Nerd.
There's a lot. I was gonna say Nerd is a
It's
fitting
Nerd.
name. I hate to say it. Sorry, Nerd. I know that you were upset that the fans were cheering it, but it's just. I mean, listen. It's that's your name, Nerd.
Yep, it's Nerd.
You turned on Creed Costello. Creed. Apologies, Costello Creed. You turn on Costello Creed. No, it doesn't. Creed Costello Creed. That's the name.
You got the name right, yes.
Yeah. I sometimes say my name might be Walls Derek some days. Some days I go better. We need to get this done, dude. We've been doing this for a long time. Nerd versus El Tano, who before, like we said...
Hey, at least you didn't say El Tano.
El Tano,
You got that one.
El Taino. Listen, it was a great match between these two. El Tano, it was nice to see him again because, like we said yesterday, he got the big vote of respect from Avery Hertz. Who again, I mean, listen, Avery Hertz, we have a lot of respect for. So super excited to see this match. It was a great match between these two, but El Tano did get the victory. So I mean, he had a great match against, Avery Hertz the day before. Gets a victory here. I mean, he's riding high. And Nerd, since his, listen, and this is a public service announcement to everybody out there. When Nerd's on a card, do not chant Nerd. Just don't. He hates that. Don't, and we don't want to upset anybody.
Nerd.
No, don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't.
Nerd. What?
Don't. It upsets. It upsets.
Nerd.
No, don't nerd. No.
Nerd. Oh, my bad. Did I say out loud?
It was a great match.
Damn, my brain is washing me again. Nerd.
It was a great match between these two, though. Excited to see, like I said, I want to see Nerd more in Battle on the Border. I want to see El Tano more in Battle on the Border. And I really think El Tano has a bright future ahead of him.
Oh, yes.
Nerd needs to get, some things, he lost, turn on his partner. That's technically 2 losses in the books in a row.
He could go into zero gravity.
If he lost a little bit of that cockiness.
Yeah. I guess that would help him a little bit if he just lost that little bit.
Yeah. Now, speaking about El Tano, though, his opponent from the day before had a huge opponent in this match. This was a heavyweight tournament match, so remember that.
Heavyweight.
Craven against Avery Hertz. You want to talk about 2 completely different styles of wrestling. You want to talk about 2 different sizes of humans. You want to get the chip representation out. You want to talk about
Avery.
Craven, of course.
Craven.
We know Craven because when he left Army of Destiny... Now, we have to be quiet now because you're wearing a microphone and everyone's
Continue.
If you're here chewing throughout this, dislike the video. Just
I got it on my cheek.
So he knows. I told him don't do this. He brought the chips. I told him not to eat them, and he's eating them. If you hear it, go ahead and dislike the video.
They're in my cheek.
Craven and I know, I'm just kidding. Avery Hertz and Craven, 2 completely different sizes, 2 different styles of wrestling. I'm sure that Avery Hertz had to be a little bit worried about this matchup.
Oh, most definitely.
And Craven, Craven had to account for the speed. Avery Hertz had the crowd on his side.
And Avery Hertz had to account for the weight. I mean,
of course. Avery Hertz gave it a good run. He tried his best. He really gave it a good run, but Craven did ultimately get the victory, which, Craven, knowing that he has Adam Rorgis and Beast on his side, and we know how they operate, we'll get to that here in a minute especially, it was unfortunate to see, because now we have Paxton, Surge, Congo Kong, and Craven. These are 4, listen, the heavyweight title has 4 big, and now you have 2 guys who are by the book, Paxton and Surge, against 2 guys who, listen, Craven, I mean, with his Army of Destiny work, he seemed like he was kind of getting blamed by Bomani, and then there was a fight between those 2 that went to the back. I mean, Craven, I think, is trying to he's finding his footing. He's finding it well in this heavyweight tournament. Yeah, and I gotta tell you, listen,
he's getting his spot real quick.
We are fans of Surge. We are fans of Paxton. Congo Kong's been on the podcast. Go and check it out. The man behind the Congo Kong, Steve Wilson episode. Great episode.
Great episode.
However, we don't like his tactics in the ring.
No.
And we don't like Craven's tactics in the ring.
And we don't like his manager either.
David Barnabas Spector's also been on the podcast, though. Check that out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Darren called him out. He called him an asshole to his face, which, I mean, a lot of respect, honestly.
I have. Right there on the podcast. You'll find out if you watch the interview.
I will say this, though. It was a great, Hertz gave it a good shot. It was just a little bit out of his zone of comfort. Avery Hertz could easily be a heavyweight champion someday. He's talented enough to do that. It's just that right now I think, he's so focused on that zero gravity title. You know what I mean? He's so focused on that zero gravity.
Heavyweight?
He could be easily. He's very talented. He's talented enough. He's got the speed. He can be.
He ain't got the heavyweight.
He's not a heavyweight.
He's not.
Listen, Rey Mysterio didn't have the heavyweight, and he became heavyweight champion in WWE. Sometimes
True.
It just takes the talent, but and Avery has all the talent in the world. It's just that this was the first time that we've really seen him go against somebody who was out of his weight class.
Yeah.
So moving on to the zero gravity title match. Now this was a match that was extremely exciting for us. We have not seen Eric Smalls in Battle on the Border personally. Has been in Battle on the Border. Really excited to see his return. He's very hyped up. Denham told us a lot about it. Now, Jaden Jett, who is generally speaking the smaller person in the match,
That's how that worked out.
Generally speaking, the smaller person in a match was not the smallest person in this match. For those that do not know, Eric Smalls calls himself Mini Conor McGregor because he himself is a small person. So this was a very interesting match So it was a very interesting match. And listen, Russell was out there. I want to say this 100%. They no doubt in my mind discounted the fact that Eric Smalls. They were laughing at him ringside. Jaden Jett was getting down on his knees. I mean, they were discounting Eric Smalls in his.
And they underestimated the hell out of him.
Underestimated him, and let me tell you something. Eric Smalls made them regret that.
Oh yeah, he showed up.
He gave an unbelievable performance. For those who have not seen Eric Smalls perform, make sure that if he's on a card, you have got to get on there. You've got to see him. He wrestles all over the place. It was extremely exciting to see. The match lived up to all the hype. Denham was hyping it up to us, and it lived up to absolutely all the hype.
Not only did he show up, he showed up tall.
He showed up, yeah. And, unfortunately, because, there was a distraction by Russell on the ref, Jaden was able to get a low blow in. There was a low blow distraction. Jaden Jett did retain his title against Eric Smalls. Now, I think it's important to mention again. We said this about Jaden Jett. He defends his title a lot. Now he doesn't do the way we would like him to, but he does win all the time.
He does the cheap play.
Now it is important to remind everybody here. So Eric Smalls gave Jaden Jett a run for his money. I mean, we had one point thought the titles might change hands here.
Yeah, it was very.
Hope to see
very
Eric
close.
Smalls. Hope to see Eric Smalls more often. But it is important to note that Avery Hertz, who had just wrestled a match against Craven, approached the ring and said, Jaden, you're next. I got next. He still wants, that's what I'm saying.
He was sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
As he was exiting.
I'm telling you.
Tell him that he is next.
That match, I am telling you, against Craven, he was a little bit distracted. He wants that zero gravity title. He still thinks that there's unfinished business in that area.
And rightfully so.
And rightfully so. So who knows? Will we get to see Avery Hertz and Jaden Jett?
Excuse me.
Apologize. Thank you. Hey, better to let it out than hold it in.
Yeah, okay. I ain't gonna
that's what hurts you. That's what I've heard. But you did make fun of me earlier for having gas, so that's.
Well, you held yours in. I just let mine out.
I'm trying to be polite. People are listening to this. They don't want to see. They don't want to hear
Sound like
that.
a pretty good burp, didn't it?
They don't want to hear that. Okay, now, do we have enough time to get this last match in?
We're about to take a break before.
All right, one more break, and then we're going to be talking about the main event, major implications, as well as previews for the first and second in Battle on the Border.
And we are back.
We have one more match to get through.
Again. We're back. Again.
Longest episode we've done in a while.
We're back.
Longest episode we've done in a while, there's no doubt. But I mean, hey, listen, man. Battle on the Border weekends are a thing now. Mm-hmm. Super excited about that. We have one coming up this weekend again.
And you should not have to deal with us again that long.
Hey, they love it. They love it. This is the best podcast ever.
Oh, right? Yeah, you're just going to look forward to that long podcast again. I mean, We know we're the best podcasters around.
All right, so we have one more match.
They can't handle us.
Okay, and this was a great match. Adam Rorgis versus Paxton Calloway. Two big dudes. Two big men slapping meat, to quote Big E from WWE.
I don't have anything to compare them to.
Just bang. You know what I mean? Great. No, this was a great match also.
Big.
Oh, dude, you're talking about my forehead.
They're that big.
That's fair.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's all fair. I've always had a big forehead. I mean, I can't. What am I supposed to do? Get surgery? I guess I could start doing that.
So you can wear bangs.
Let me start doing that.
Actually, it don't look half bad.
No.
That really didn't look half bad.
No. Don't start doing that. All right.
It didn't look half bad.
Adam
you do that and you can get some gauges, you're good to go.
I'm not getting gauges. I'm not getting anything in my ears.
What's wrong with gauges?
Nothing. It's not my style.
Small says gauges.
I know he doesn't. I don't have any problem with people getting gauges. It's just not my style. That's all I said, dog.
I thought it wasn't mine either, but it ended up turning out pretty sexy. So I mean,
Adam Rorgis versus Paxton Calloway. Super exciting matchup, these two. Now, of course, Adam Rorgis we've seen personally in Cincy Wrestling. So it was really exciting to see him here in Battle on the Border. But it's a little bit weird because, he's coming in with Beast, aligning himself with Craven. So we have a little bit of reservations as far as that goes because we know how Craven operates. We know how Beast operates. Craven tried to distract Surge earlier in the night, so we knew how this was going to go. And we were a little bit nervous, but ultimately Paxton Calloway did get the victory in a match where, again, Paxton Calloway, man, you want to talk about somebody who's living high on the hog, it would be Paxton Calloway because Paxton Calloway, 2 back-to-back victories against, Carson Drake. Again, maybe by not necessarily in the way that he wanted.
Carson Drake, yeah.
And then against Adam Rorgis. But that's not where the real exciting stuff happened. I mean, the match was great. Do not get me wrong. Match was amazing. Was amazing, always is. But the real exciting stuff kind of happened afterwards because you see, it just so happened that Craven and Beast decided that they were pretty upset about the loss.
Oh yeah.
And so they started to attack on Paxton.
And
Bobby Fulton on the outside of the ring, I mean, he's trying to get help. He's trying to signal just anybody. He had to imagine somebody was ready. Mm-hmm. And the two most unlikely people, kind of likely, I guess, when you think about it, for one. Another one's a little bit more unlikely, but you would never have imagined a year ago that these two people would be teaming together.
Especially this one specific person.
And so Bobby Fulton's yelling for everybody to come out. Come on, we need somebody out there. And the two people who came out to save the day were Sergeant Ledbetter and Super Oprah. Two people who I never thought I would ever see entering together, at least not in the sense of working together.
Especially Ledbetter coming out to help.
Listen, Paxton
That
Calloway
blows your mind.
has friends, man, and Sergeant Ledbetter has a little bit of a vested interest in this because Craven.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense. And Super Oprah, I guess, was just tired of seeing this bullcrap go on. Another one who has 2 victories in 2 days.
Yeah. And I tell you what, Super Oprah damn well fucking sprinted too.
Again, questioning that leg from Saturday. I mean, there's no question that leg is healed.
Oh yeah. Did not phase Super Oprah because when that happened, that was probably the fastest I've ever seen Super Oprah run.
Sergeant Ledbetter was the same way.
Yes, they were basically having a foot race.
Mm-hmm. They were, yeah, pretty much. I don't know who won because I was so excited to see them run out. But I'll tell you this, it was absolutely insane. You had this new group of Rorgis, Beast, and Craven, which is that is a team right there. I mean, I know we don't like them because of their tactics, but listen, that's a group. They're 3 big dudes.
That's a whole ass group.
And the unlikely team of Paxton Calloway, Sergeant Ledbetter, and Super Oprah.
And the fact of Ledbetter being on the good team.
Who, again, exactly.
That is so weird.
Again, are all 3 big competitors.
Yeah.
Who are, this is going to be, if this ends up with Armageddon coming up, with cages being involved, Ledbetter's got his he's got his problems with the Masked Man. Mm-hmm. He's now got these problems with Craven still not resolved fully, I guess. It's just, Ledbetter is just trying to do his best to make sure these shows go the way they should. And Super Oprah jumping in on that. Listen, he's getting bored of this. You got to get awake. You got to be awake. You need what you need.
Yawning because it's 9:36.
You know what you need? You need W. That's what you need.
Yeah, W.
We don't have any W. I ran out. I drank it all.
Their cups leak.
No, they don't. Why would you say that?
Their cups don't leak.
Why would you say that? It was a great, but so they're in the ring, and I mean, listen, they were like, let's do it right now. The bell was rang, and as soon as it rang, Rorgeous Beast and Craven said adios, and they left. So, although it was technically a match, I mean, it really wasn't.
It was a count out.
If you wanted to give it a match, I guess you could say it was Paxton Oper and Ledbetter got the victory due to count out, but there was no moves thrown.
But the bell was rang, and the bell was rang.
So, I mean, it was a match, but
it was a match, and it was a count out. But this is not the end of this.
This is just the beginning.
There is no way. Yeah, this is just the start of what's about to go down, I guarantee it.
Yeah, just the beginning. So very excited to see where that ends up. And, of course, with this weekend coming up as we're filming this, it's going to be this weekend. Very exciting things.
We're getting really close, and I'm getting jitty about it.
For those that are watching before the 1st, September 1st to be exact, September 1st, the best
Best damn wrestling show.
It'll be in Middletown, Ohio. Make sure you go to Battle on the Border Pro Wrestling on Facebook to get details.
And your tickets.
And to get your tickets, of course. And then Saturday, Armageddon, Cleves. It's going to be an unbelievable weekend. I'm really loving this back-to-back shows. It makes for great content for us to watch. It makes for great content for us to report on. The shows this past weekend were great.
If you like these consistent shows, give us a like and we'll report the denim.
We'll report back.
Yeah. I'll give him chokehold. You gotta do it. No, I'm just kidding. He'll probably kick my ass.
Probably would. Probably would.
No, he definitely will kick my ass.
Yeah, absolutely would.
Most definitely is going to kick my ass.
That's right. So that would be, the Best Damn Wrestling Show. If you go to their Battle on the Border Pro Wrestling page, they actually have a flyer for it now. You can also get a link to your tickets, which will be in the link below if you're listening, or if you're watching, it'll be in the link below.
Fill them front row tickets up. I don't know if they're sold out yet, but
right now,
as you can.
The day of this recording, which will probably change when this episode is uploaded. Listen, we do what we can. The matches that have been announced for September 1st, that is again the Best Damn Wrestling Show in Slapjacks in Middletown at Slapjacks, DTG Novelties and more. Shout out to Slapjacks.
Yeah, Slapjacks.
Scott Bowers, shout out. Best Damn Wrestling Show ever, Friday, September 1st. That is 2600 Titus Avenue, Middletown, Ohio, 45044.
And not to mention, if you guys are not aware, Slapjacks is the ones that make the Battle on the Border t-shirts and cups. They make everything.
Quality.
They make all your needs. They're very quality. If you need anything done, get a hold of Scott Bowers over at Slapjacks and get your stuff, because it's damn good stuff.
So as of this moment, the matches that have been announced... Sorry, guys. Hold on. As of this moment, the matches that have been announced. Women's division returning Shauna Reed against Casey Clay. Super excited about that matchup.
Yes.
Who knows where that's going to go. Russell Brand being out... Russell Brand, sorry, I apologize.
Russell Brand.
When I looked... I want to explain myself. When I looked down, it looked like an R because I was kind of trying to rush. Russell Brand.
Russell Brand.
It being ringside for Casey Clay is going to throw a wrench in the plans. We'll see what happens. Any predictions? I honestly don't know. I mean, with Russell being out there, it is a 50-50.
It's tough. It's legitimately tough. I mean, you got two very talented people going against each other.
Absolutely. So,
not to mention the possible outside interference.
Exactly.
So if my hand was twisted and I had to pick,
I'm just kidding.
It would definitely be Casey Clay.
I mean,
the fact of the advantage of having Russell on the outside of the ring, because you know he's going to be there and you know he's going to interfere at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's hard for them not to.
They seem to always.
So.
And then the other match that has been announced so far is the Zero Gravity Division match between Matt Taylor and Dirty Daxie. Haven't seen Dirty Daxie in a while.
And Matt Taylor was
supposed to be at the last.
Yeah, supposed to be at the last show.
So exciting to see both of those two. Last time we seen them in the ring together, it was a 5-way match, if you remember right, for the Zero Gravity tournament.
5-way for Zero Gravity.
For the Zero Gravity title. So. Very exciting to see. It's exciting to see both of them back. I am very excited for the show. Make sure you grab your tickets.
I'm on Matt Taylor on this one.
Really? Well, then just to be contrarian, I'm going to go with Dirty Daxie.
I'm going to say I'm like wholeheartedly Matt Taylor on this one, just because, I don't get me wrong. I really like Dirty Dax. We've got his pins. We got the Daxy Taxi pins.
We do.
But like,
both are super talented. That's
yeah,
the problem here.
it's. I guess you could say more like favoritism. I kind of give favoritism.
Matt Taylor uses underhanded tactics to win.
Yes, but it's hard to not like Matt Taylor.
Hey, listen, man.
I'm
seeing a flaw in your logic, is all I'm saying. Seeing a flaw in the logic.
Why? Because I don't like Carson Drake.
Your whole thing is against being against, bad dudes, Craven, Carson Drake, because they do things the wrong way. Now all of a sudden you're just saying Matt Taylor.
I haven't seen Matt Taylor do anything wrong.
Oh yeah, 100%. Just because you have blinders on doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Oh, just go back and listen to any of our reviews since you love our fucking podcast so much.
I've never seen anything him do wrong.
Go back and watch.
He's an innocent angel.
And before we get into all of the promotions for ourselves, I did want to quote exactly the Bray Wyatt quote, or the Wyndham Rotunda quote. That's his real name for those that don't know, that I messed up earlier.
Who?
Wyndham Rotunda. That's Bray Wyatt. That's his real name. I wanted to say the quote because I messed it up and I felt bad. The actual quote is, to quote, wrestling is not a love story. It's a fairy tale for masochists, a comedy for people who criticize punchlines, a fantasy most can't understand, and a spectacle no one can deny. And I feel like that's a really great quote to end this on, because listen, pro wrestling is absolutely amazing, and in times like this, where people that we grew up watching in the sport that we love, Terry, whether it be Terry Funk, whether it be Bray Wyatt, excuse me, it's important to remember that pro wrestling is a great. So let's come together and let's celebrate wrestling, pro wrestling in general, on September 1st and September 2nd. So make sure you go to Battle on the Border Pro Wrestling on Facebook to get all the match information, match announcements, and stuff.
And you can buy your tickets there.
You can buy your tickets there. Battle on the Border Brigade. You can become a member of the brigade. It's a fan page.
It's fun.
It's a great time. And make sure to follow us on Instagram, _D_podcast on Instagram. You can follow us on TikTok. We can go live and have went live. Make sure you follow us there. And turn on notifications so you know when we go live. That's the WD Podcast 1. We have a Twitter or an X. I have a Twitter or X, and that is DJDub00. Make sure to follow me there. Tweet about wrestling a lot. That's pretty much it. W.GG, use code D Podcast. It's DOUBLEDPODCAST. Their cups are great. He doesn't know how to screw on a cap. That's his problem. The energy drinks are great.
The energy drinks are fantastic.
Make sure you go and use our code, and you can get some percentage off of your order.
But nobody's used it yet.
So fucking use it, dude.
Yeah,
Sorry.
fucking use it.
Sorry, lost my...
Fucking use it!
lost my train of thought. Also, for those that are listening, make sure to go to YouTube and check out the video version, WD Podcast and Crew on YouTube. And if you're watching and you want to listen, you can go down to the link below and you can find out where we're at. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, I think. We're on a lot.
Let me ask here, is my Snapchat made it there yet?
I will say this every single time you ask me. That is strictly, our Instagram isn't on there. Nothing is on there. That is strictly for listening and video. That's where you can find
And if they just love me.
You're not, listen, this is the WD Podcast. This is not the single podcast. When you do the dad talk, then you can do your own thing.
And if you love me, add my snap, Darren113456789, that someone should put in the link tree.
Not going to.
It'd be a little bit easier for them to find me because they love me so very much.
Of course they do. Everyone loves you.
Not to be a Leo or anything, but...
You're sounding like an awful... Oh, don't go down that
Mind you, I just turned 25.
All these... Listen, if you're listening and you're one of those people who are like, sorry, I was being a dick last night, I'm a Leo, fuck you. Okay?
It's facts.
It's not facts.
Us Leos are big-headed.
What month you were born doesn't decide the way that
day.
you act. Doesn't decide the way that you act. You either... because you always see that, you're like, well, I'm an Aries, so I'm sometimes mean, but sometimes I'm not. I'm nice, and it's like, yeah, so is everybody, dude.
Oh no, I'm just a big-headed dick.
That is not
cut and dry. I mean,
you're
straight
using
up.
Leo as an excuse. That's just because that's who you are.
Oh, it's literally in my dynamics.
No, it's not. There's fucking stars. Listen. I know I just offended a whole group of people.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. I'm gonna die on this
hill.
The day that you were born doesn't decide how you act in life. That's just the kind of person you are. And listen, if you listen, the way that you're acting right now, you sound like a Carson Drake fan. You kind of sound like Carson Drake. You guys probably get along.
I'm better than Carson Drake.
Oh, there we go.
I'm better looking.
Oh, but here we go.
I'm way better looking than Carson Drake.
Go on. We have more stuff to promote now.
Anyways, you already covered our Facebook, right?
No?
All right. Well, we got a Facebook page. It's Double D Podcast.
Yeah. And crew.
And crew.
This guy.
It's basically the same as our YouTube.
Mm-hmm. We have an email.
We do have an email.
Jesus Christ.
It's doubledpodcast123@gmail.com.
There we go. All right, well.
And don't forget, you got your not only good looking, but very talented DJ. I DJ all kinds of events, and you see us at Battle on the Water events doing the sound. That's me and him. And it's 812-212-1675. We are the cheapest in the area, and we are fun to hang out with. I've never been happier to hang out with us.
We're great. If you want to, we have some great stuff coming up in the future. Of course, after the first and second takes place, we'll be having a review of the Best Damn Wrestling Show and Armageddon right here on this channel. We also have an interview coming up, hopefully before the first and second, with a certain somebody that we talked about a lot in this show. So make sure to stick around. It could possibly be maybe a returning guest. Take your guesses.
Nobody knows.
Could be new. Who knows? We do. You know.
And I'm going to go ahead and bring us up. So we have a 2021 Pocky One Chip Challenge. Well, we also have a 2022, don't we?
No, you ate that on TikTok Live.
Oh, yeah, I ate that one on TikTok Live. We have another chip, though.
Yes, we do.
So, if you guys want to see us eat the Pocky One Chip Challenge.
Unsealed?
Unsealed.
It's sealed. I just made you say
sealed. It's a sealed bag.
He's so worried about people thinking it's fake.
And, you know, we got the cool ass coffin box. I mean, it's pretty lit. If you guys want to see us eat it, and hopefully hold up this sign. I really hope to be able to hold this sign up, but after my pain from that live, maybe.
Not going to happen.
But if you want to see it, what would be a good number for them?
Listen, let's be honest with you. I love our fans, people who watch us, but we'll be honest, we don't really get a lot of likes.
No?
I think the most likes we've ever got is like 2.
I don't think they can do 15.
I know they cannot do 15, so we're going to
do 15 likes, we'll eat it.
15 likes in this video.
We'll eat.
We have two chips. We will eat them for a video, and that will be the only thing discussed in that video. We won't distract it with anything else.
That'll be it.
Our video will be
and then we'll have to sit for rounds. So you got Spicy Punch, Scorpion Sting, Vision Disruptor, Gut Slash, and Roasted.
It's basically just the amount of time that you stay without drinking any water or milk.
So 5 minutes is powerless. 10 minutes is powerful. 30 minutes is supercharged. And an hour is invincible. And then if you get to the invincible mark without any reaction, you can hold that up. Mm-hmm. It says, I destroyed the Pocky One Chip Challenge.
So we'll see. I mean, hopefully we can do it, but I know you guys aren't going to get us to 15 likes anyway.
Yeah, we'll be lucky to get 15 likes anyway. So I don't think we have anything to worry about.
It's not going to happen.
They're chumps.
It's just how it is. You guys don't like our videos, I guess. And
you got some tape? Yeah, give me that tape. Because I'm going to go ahead and just
tape it up. We might be able to resell it because, like I said, we're not.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just.
We can resell it to somebody.
Seal that right back.
Get likes on stuff.
Because I mean, somebody actually can use it, unlike us.
Yeah, we're not going to get 15 likes,
so
there's no point in even doing it. So,
I reseal it because it's just not going to happen. So I mean, this is going to chill here on the table.
Sit right there.
Here's your tape back.
So, in the meantime, make sure you guys are keeping yourself healthy. Check in on your loved ones. Make sure they're doing okay. You never know when, things. Like I said, the Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt stuff, really puts it into perspective of how, life's fragile, man. And pro wrestling is something that we all connect with. So when you go to pro wrestling shows, make sure you're having a great time because you never know when it could be your last one. Treat everybody with respect, kind, and loveness. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, that's it's just the way we need to, we need to carry ourselves a little bit better.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time with an interview.
Yeah, and also for you unsubbers,
subscribe. Make sure to
I see you watching our videos.
You gotta like, comment, subscribe,
turn
on the bell so you get notifications. I mean, it helps us in the algorithm when you do all those things.
It's not hard just to hit a button and subscribe if you come across our video. Yeah. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. And if you're,
It's not even an inconvenience at this point.
and if you're
Just
listening,
hit the button.
and if you're listening to us, hey man, give us a rating. Give us
Oh,
a
yeah.
rating on those. You know, let us know that you like the audio version because we've put out there in the universe.
Yeah, we're about to get rid of that some gun.
We might get rid of it soon, so we need to know that we have the love on there.
And if we ain't got the love, that's sure going to persuade.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, you guys are in control.
We will see you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Later.